Imagine a world not of metal and circuits, but of steam and gears, a world powered by ingenuity and the hiss of boiling water. This isn't science fiction. It's the world of Antarctica, an industrial powerhouse born from the mind of a visionary inventor, James Watt. Our story begins in the late 18th century. While the real James Watt was perfecting his steam engine in Britain, in the world of Antarctica, his counterpart wasn't just improving an existing design, he was creating a new civilization. Fleeing the rigid societies of old Europe, Watt and a group of brilliant artisans, engineers and thinkers sought refuge on a remote, resource-rich archipelago. They named their new home Antarctica, a nod to the legendary Atlantis, but their city would be built not on myth but on mechanics. The first settlement, Kogsberg, was a marvel of its time. Perched on the largest island, it was a city that breathed steam. Buildings were interconnected by a web of brass pipes, and colossal water wheels, powered by mighty rivers, drove the city's heart. Early life was tough. The settlers had to tame the wild landscape, fend off strange native creatures, and learn to harness the island's unique geothermal energies. But their shared vision of a society based on merit and innovation fueled their progress. Watt's crowning achievement was the Ethereum engine. Unlike his real-world steam engine, this device didn't just pump water or power looms. It harnessed geothermal energy and converted it into a stable, powerful source that could run an entire city. This invention was the cornerstone of Atlantican society. It powered everything from the clockwork automatons that assisted in labor to the grand airships that would soon grace the skies. With a stable power source, Antarctica flourished. The society was organized into guilds: the Engineers Guild, the Alchemists Guild, the Aeronauts Guild, and so on. Each guild was a hub of knowledge and craftsmanship, constantly pushing the boundaries of their respective fields. This wasn't a world of cutthroat competition, but one of collaborative innovation. Guilds would often work together on grand projects, each contributing their unique expertise. One such project was the Sky Lighthouse of Alexandria Nova. This wasn't just a beacon for ships, but a beacon for airships. Towering over the capital city, its brilliant light, powered by a localized Ethereum core, cut through the densest fog, guiding the majestic steam-powered dirigibles and ornithopters safely home. These airships became Antarctica's signature, symbols of their freedom and technological prowess. They opened up trade routes between the islands and allowed for exploration of the vast, unknown world beyond their archipelago. By the mid-19th century, Antarctica had entered its golden age. The cities were architectural wonders of brass, copper, and stained glass. The streets were clean, patrolled by clockwork constables. Public transport consisted of elegant steam carriages and intricate networks of elevated monorails. Art and culture thrived, inspired by the beauty of mechanical motion. Composers created symphonies using steam-powered organs, and artists sculpted kinetic masterpieces that moved with mesmerizing precision. But this utopia was not without its shadows. The intense industrialization began to take a toll on the environment. The once pristine rivers started to show signs of pollution, and the air in the lower levels of the multi-tiered cities grew thick with smog. A faction known as the Naturists emerged, advocating for a return to a simpler way of life, one more in harmony with nature. They argued that Antarctica, reliance on machines, was making its people forget the value of the natural world. Tensions grew between the guilds, who saw progress as paramount, and the Naturists, who feared the long-term cost of that progress. This ideological conflict came to a head during the Great Gear Grind. It wasn't a war in the traditional sense with armies and battles. Instead, it was a cold war of sabotage and social unrest. Naturist sympathizers would subtly jam the gears of critical city mechanisms, while the Engineers Guild responded by creating ever more complex and tamper-proof systems. The crisis reached its peak when a group of radical naturists attempted to shut down Kogsberg's main Ethereum engine, an act that would have plunged the entire city into chaos. They were stopped at the last moment by a coalition of guild members, but the event was a wake-up call for all Atlanticans. They realized their society was on the brink of tearing itself apart. In the aftermath, a new council was formed with representatives from every guild, and for the first time, the Naturists, James Watt's descendant, Elara Watt, a brilliant mediator and engineer herself, brokered a new social contract. This steam leaf accord aimed to balance industrial ambition with ecological responsibility. The accord ushered in a new era for Antarctica, the age of synthesis. Engineers began developing cleaner technologies, harnessing wind and solar power alongside geothermal energy. Alchemists worked on methods to purify the rivers and air. The city of Arborea was founded on a neighboring island, a green city where architecture was designed to integrate seamlessly with the forest, a living testament to the new accord. Clockwork automatons were reprogrammed to not just build, but to cultivate and reforest. Today, Antarctica is a world of breathtaking contrasts. Gleaming brass airships float silently over lush green canopies. Intricate clockwork mechanisms operate in harmony with natural ecosystems. It is a society that learned a hard lesson, that true progress isn't just about building bigger and faster machines, but about creating a sustainable future where technology serves life, not the other way around. The legacy of James Watt and the pioneers of Antarctica lives on, not just in the whirring gears and hissing pipes, but in the delicate balance they finally achieved between the world they built and the world they were given. The story of Antarctica is a reminder that innovation carries responsibility, and that the greatest engine of all is not one of steam or ether, but one of cooperation, foresight, and hope. Thanks for watching our deep dive into the history of Antarctica. What part of its world fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy stories of incredible worlds, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more adventures. See you next time.